Good morning, students. Today we are going to study The Charge of the Light Brigade. It is a poem written by Lord Alfred Tennyson. Lord Alfred Tennyson is one of the most popular English poets. He wrote this poem as a tribute to the honor and courage displayed by the British cavalrymen during the Battle of Balaclava. This poem is about the Battle of Balaclava that took place on 25th October 1854 during the Crimean War between Britain and Russia. A cavalry of British soldiers was ordered to charge down a valley surrounded by Russian cannons. Of the 673 men who charged, only 195 survived unwounded. The poem goes as follows. Half a league, half a league, half a league onward, all in the valley of death, rode the 600. Forward, the light brigade, charge for the guns, he said. Into the valley of death rode the 600. Forward, the light brigade, was there a man dismayed? Not thou the soldier knew, someone had blundered. There's not to make reply, there's not to reason why, there's but to do and die. Into the valley of death rode the 600. Cannon to right of them, cannon to left of them, cannon in front of them, volleyed and thundered, stormed at with shot and shell, boldly they rode and well, into the jaws and death, into the mouth of hell, rode the 600. Flashed all their sabres bare, flashed as they turned in air, sabring the gunners there, charging an army, while all the world wondered. Plunged in the battery smoke, right through the line they broke, Cossack and Russian, reeled from the sabre stroke, shattered and sundered. Then they rode back, but not the 600. Cannon to right of them, cannon to left of them, cannon behind them, volleyed and thundered, stormed at with shot and shell, while horse and hero fell, that that had fought so well, came through the jaws of death, back from the mouth of hell, all that was left of them, left of 600. When can the glory fade? Oh, the wild charge they made! All the world wondered. Honor the charge they made. Honor the light brigade. Noble 600. Poem's explanation. The poem is starting with the words half a league, which is used thrice to symbolize the parade of the light brigade towards the enemy. Half a league is roughly a mile and a half because a league is equal to about 3 miles and is an old way to measure distance. The 600 soldiers were commanded to march towards the enemy that was probably 1.5 miles ahead. They were marching into the valley of death, which means that they were soon going to be killed. The commander commands the soldiers to take charge of the guns and attack their enemies. Second stanza. The commander gave the command to the soldiers to move forward and asked if any soldier was afraid or discouraged. The light brigade, even though they knew that someone had blundered and the charge was a mistake, but they were trained and disciplined to follow orders. They were not used to questioning the orders of the superiors, but to do the duty and face death in the war. Stanza 3. This stanza describes the scene where the soldiers are surrounded by enemy cannons on their left, right, and front. There were huge walls of cannons all around them that were firing and making a sound like thunder. They were showered with artillery shells and gunshots, but the 600 soldiers rode boldly and well into the teeth of death and mouth of hell. Stanza 4. The soldiers took out their swords and stabbed the enemy soldiers who were firing with guns. They charged an entire army, and the whole world wondered at their sincerity and dedication. The cavalrymen passed through the dense smoke of shelling, crossed the borderline, fought and killed the enemies, that is, the Russian and Cossacks. The enemies were torn apart to death and the soldiers returned, but according to the poet, they were not 600 as many of them died. Stanza 5. In this stanza, the poet has repeated the lines of stanza 3. However, this stanza also says that there were cannons behind the cavalrymen as well, which means that they were returning back, leaving the enemy behind. The heroes fought so well, but many of them died and their horses were killed. They rode through the teeth of death and came back from the valley of death itself, but a few remained to make the journey back. They were not 600 as many of them died. Stanza 6. The speaker calls to honor the 600 men and asks the rhetorical question, when can their glory fade and how their bravery can be forgotten? They will always be remembered for marching boldly into the battle where they were sure to die. The whole world admired their courage, and their glory is indeed undying. We must respect and honor the 600. Students, now let's understand the literary devices used. First is repetition. The poet uses repetition several times in the poem. Example, half a league is repeated 3 times. Other repeated phrases are rode the 600, forward the light brigade, cannons to the right of them, cannons to the left of them, and cannons in front of them. And last is all the world wondered. The second literary device is anaphora. It means repetition of same words in the starting of a number of consecutive lines. Anaphora has been used in the poem, example, cannons. Third is alliteration. Stormed at with shot and shell. Here the alphabet S is repeating. There's but to do and die. The alphabet D is repeating. All the world wondered. The alphabet W is repeating. And while horse and hero fell, here the alphabet H is repeating. The next literary device is personification. Here are the examples of personification, that is the mouth of hell, the jaws of death. The next literary device is onomatopoeia, where shattered, sundered, stormed, thundered, these words are used. So children, hope you all have understood the poem. Thanks for watching.